first thing you want to do is obviously park your car on some flat ground. Don't have to be on concrete. Just make sure you got it supported good when you jack it up. But yeah, just jack the car up. I use one jack stand on the front rear lower control arm mount. Put one little jack stand under there. It's more than enough height. Get anything you need done. And I suggest always using the stands versus just supporting on the jack. You never know, a seal blow or something. Knock it off the jack or something like that. But just raise the car, support it, and pull the front tire off, the hubcap. The lug nuts are 21 millimeter, or at least on mine they are. Remove those and then start tearing away. Alright, once you get the car up in the air and get it on your jack stand, this is where I usually put my stand, under here on the control arm bushing mount. Pretty solid point. Car's getting sturdy. You want to turn the wheel all the way to the passenger side if you're working on driver side if you're working on the passenger. You want to take out these two bolts. This one is through the bottom. I don't know why I just sound like I'm from Boston, but anyway, it's through the bottom. The nut is. This one's the other way. They do that just for safety reasons. It probably isn't a big deal if you put them in the same way, but the original bolts, I used a 11/32, or not 32nd, but 11/16 on both, and they came out just fine. The original, as you can see, the stud on the back side there is actually pressed in. Then on the other side you've got a bolt. It's an actual bolt that goes through the top like that. So yeah, you take those out. Then you've got your bolt right here on the that actually holds the ball joint into the spindle. The original of that is a I believe 15 millimeter on the bolt side and the nut side. Be really careful. I just about stripped the nut off on this one. The thing was super tight. It's kind of a bear to get out, to say the least. But once you get that out, I found breaking the nut side loose a lot easier. Basically this side, I put my ratchet on this side and broke it loose. But once you get that out, the nut off of that, pop that ball joint bolt loose, push it out. I actually hit it with a good hammer and then using a small extension just to tap it the rest of the way through. Then you want to take these loose on the bottom top of the actual ball joint mounting to the control arm. Take those loose, then go to whacking on the ball joint. Alright, once you get your two bolts out of your control arm, you want to just kind of spin it around out of the way. Spin it down like that. What I like to do is take an extension. It's kind of a pain to do with one hand here. Take your extension, just kind of drop it in here. And it kind of sandwiches itself in place. It's actually through the control arm. And it's kind of just up there touching the frame rail, subframe, whatever, and gives you room to work. You can spin this baby out of the way, get your bolt out after you spread it apart and give it some licks, knock it out of there. On to the next. Once you get to this point, that ball joint usually is going to be pretty froze up in there. Don't know if you can see it. I can't exactly get my phone to focus. But there we go. If you see that crack right there, you need to get your pry bar or something in that and pull that apart. You need to spread that open just enough, and that's gonna let that ball joint come out. No, it's probably not gonna fall out, but you're gonna have to probably do some beating on it. Usually what I do, bring it over like this so you can get a little bit of a swing at it. But yeah, you're just gonna give it some wax. I mean, sometimes it'll come right out, sometimes you're gonna have to beat on it for a little bit. So I'll get that out and come back. Alright, the old one's out. Here's the new one, just for a comparison. As you can see, it's a much better piece. I mean, it's not an expensive piece or anything. It's not a Moog or whatever. This is on a junky little car, so. But as you can see, you know, the boot's intact. Unfortunately, this old boy was on its last leg. I'm hoping that's all my wobble that I had going on. I'm actually surprised that thing didn't come loose. Brake on me driving down the highway and stuff. I had a really bad shake on the interstate, doing 80, which probably shouldn't have been doing, but she's coming out now, changing it out, putting the new one in. So first you want to take these bolts off here. I actually stuck them on there so I wouldn't lose them, but you just want to take these off, which they won't be on your new one. I just put them on there. Keep thinking. But yeah, you're just gonna simply put this one into place. You probably have to tap it with a hammer a few times. The thing of it is too, you want to make sure that this groove, you want to make sure that groove on there is lined up with your hole in your spindle, or whatever this, yeah, the spindle, I guess. You want to make sure that's lined up, because your bolt has to go through that hole and then pass through that little groove in the ball joint, and that's what holds it from falling out. So you have to make sure it's up in there enough to keep it in place. Alright, I had to pause for a second. Alright, I'm going to show you. Well, actually it maybe slid right in there. I guess I got it spread open enough. But I don't know how well I can pick up you can see it pass through right there. You see that? Right there. It's pretty much lined up. So my bolt should pass through that just fine. And then also, here's your bolt. Comes with a new bolt. Comes with new bolts for the control arm bolts too, that bolt it into your control arm. And this bolt passed through the front. It's just the way I'm putting it back through. Alright, sorry about that. Had a little call coming in from the wife. Anyway, I got the bolt in. I passed through the front like I did. I had to get it up in there and give this a few hits to close that gap a little bit, because what it done, it spread it enough to where the bolt hole wasn't lining up. But as you can see, it moves pretty good now. Yeah, but it is in there, as you can see. The only wiggle room it's got is just where it's loose. Once I get that tightened up, come back. After you finished up your job, you want to go back to all the little Zerk fittings that you see. I didn't really go over it very well. Like I said, honestly, don't maintenance this car all that great. I just drive it now and again, save gas, fix stuff when it breaks. Yeah, you just kind of want to go back though and give your chassis a good lube up. You know, hit all the Zerk fittings with the grease gun. I'm definitely going to need some brakes here before long. Just more videos for the future. Also going to need, if you can tell, a sway bar in link. No other video, so we'll just kind of keep this car around for videos. Good thing is a lot of these end up being, you know, similar for other cars. For just reference, it's not exactly the same as other cars. I mean, all of them's different. So, but yeah, thanks for watching.